Calling the meeting to order at 6:36. Approval of the agenda that may be amended if needed. I know we have our town clerk asking for executive session for personnel, but we already have executive session, so we can do something there later on. So can I get a motion to accept the agenda?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of the minutes?
I have a slight change, if that's okay.
Is your change?
What is my change? It's got to do with the Scrub-A-Dub pub,
Yeah.
the second bullet. Select board, let's see, one, two, the third sentence, select board half,
We're not, hold on one second. This is our minutes. Can we just wait for a second?
okay.
Okay, can I get approval of the minutes? And
These-
then we're going to start.
Our current minutes, right?
So for March 3rd, there's minutes here, March 3rd, where once again, it says, I have a bunch of different minutes, that's what I'm trying to
Okay,
go
sorry.
through. I'm not sure which one you're on. But March 3rd, once again, it's, you two weren't here.
Yeah.
Okay, so then March 3rd again is another, you two weren't here. I would say that the first March 3rd should be 2025, not
24,
5. Okay, so, then there was an emergency meeting, March 7th, 2025 at 4:30. There was executive session, town manager interview. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes of March 7th at 4:30?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then I've got a meeting, March 10th at 4 PM. Same thing, it was interview town manager at 4 PM. Can I get a motion to accept? All in favor?
Aye.
Then I got a meeting of March 10th. This was the 6:30 PM meeting. I haven't had enough time to go through it. I don't know if you guys have, so.
I had a few things on it, like, there's just, on most motions, it said that both me and Rick both motioned,
Right,
and you can only have one person motion. It's just,
it's a second, so.
it's a minor thing, but when we have larger select board, I think we should do it. And then also on number 14, the open public, can we just put in some, it's public information, can we just put in the names of the town managers? So we have, it says former town manager, then previous town manager that advised that town manager. So can we just say like town manager Hagenbar, town manager Ramsey?
No, because I didn't say who it was. I didn't. Select Board half stated that the previous town manager did not advise or inform. I mean, you really want to get into and saying, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know who it was.
who the
It could
previous
be
town
many,
manager was?
there was talks about Mark Dakota. I don't think it was the previous, I think it was the previous. Excuse me, but I don't know who said that, but we weren't talking about that. So let us talk here, please. But Mark was not a town manager, is correct, but Mark was a person that was let go, and we were asked, and I said a previous town manager at one point. So,
So when you're saying, I'm talking about the first one that says, Andrew Don Martin, additional details, last day employment, severance package of a former town manager. They made it clear that it's Chet.
well, it's you two, I mean, it's a former town manager. If you want to change it to make it and get
Just clear.
personal in here, then go ahead.
Yeah, I think just putting names around, since we were saying names and all that, it's not.
I never said anything.
Okay, well, they all said names, I said names.
Just
So
make a motion to
Yeah.
change it to Chet Hagenbarth, if that's
Okay.
what you feel.
Can we make a motion to change the first part, where it says severance package of a former town manager to, and then just in quotations or brackets or something, put Chet or Hagenbarth, however you want to refer to him, just because we had a lot of
Okay, what else? you got?
stuff. Oh, just that, it's mentioned in here, we may, I don't know if this is correct time.
What page?
The last page?
Yeah.
Bullet, town resident Ken Wanzer requested town to include lists of attendees. We were both at the training over the weekend.
Yeah.
And even though I wasn't clear, I don't think they said by law, but they did say it's good practice to just
Yeah,
add that
we did
list
say
in.
That it's actually.
So
a good
we
thing
went
to
with
do.
what our town manager had
Yeah.
said, and said that he went to legal, and legal said it did not have to be in there because of if you forget somebody that you put in, then you're going to piss them off. If you guys want to have somebody, then
Just, yeah, I would make a motion.
But that's not here.
That's not here, so that's what I was saying, when would be a good, would that be other town meeting, or not, sorry, other,
I guess we could talk about it later.
yeah, other select board concerns?
So what would you like changed on this?
Nothing with that. That was just,
No. This meeting, we're going into saying that Ricky made a motion and then you second. Anywhere where it says two, where both made a motion,
yeah, it just have it be
Ricky
whoever
made a
made,
motion
yeah,
and you second, okay?
or no. Oh, in this case?
In this case here,
In this, it was, I believe you made a motion.
I didn't make any motions.
It says all through here you've made motions.
You're making a change to the minutes, you're looking at it,
Right.
so.
So I'm saying when we do, I'm asking whoever's taking notes, that whenever we have the second, can we just put the one person that seconded the motion, because only one person can.
But I'm not making, I didn't make, so I'm saying there's a mistake here. I didn't make a motion.
Yeah,
I
I would-
asked for a motion, and Ricky would say, I motion.
Yeah,
And then from there, just like we did today, I said all in favor. We really didn't get a second. And we don't need a second with three.
okay, then how, I'm just wondering about how do we, going forward when we have 5 people? That's what I'm thinking about is,
Well, we're gonna
how
have
do
to
we
look at
record
it in
this?
June or whatever. So this should be that, I mean, you don't have to get into it. I asked for a motion.
Yeah.
And most of the time, Ricky
It's a
said,
second.
okay, so Ricky made the motion.
second.
No, I asked for a motion.
You asked for the motion.
Yeah.
Okay, and he
I'd
He
say
said,
motion.
I motion.
motion. Okay, I understood.
And then I said all in favor.
All right, so then in the future ones, we should have it so that you're not making the motions then, because you're not, then you aren't making the motions. So these are, I'm just saying,
In the future, I
Clarify
don't
these.
know.
okay.
No, but I mean, this is where we're getting to. I don't know who the chair is gonna be in June. But as a chairperson
I'm just
said,
asking-
I'm
yeah.
asking for a motion.
Right,
Instead of me sitting here and waiting for one of you two
Okay.
to say, I make a motion, I
Right.
felt like it was a second or two or whatever, and I said, can I get a motion?
yes, that is fine.
And then Ricky, you made the motion to appoint the town manager as designated complaint officer. So we're gonna make that Ricky.
So all of these should take out you making
Made
a
a
motion,
motion.
and should say Ricky made a motion.
So then, the select board reviewed the vicious dog hearing,
Yeah,
okay? There was nothing in there for you. Justin Siegel, the select board reviewed, Abby Sherman, the select board provided their questions. Select board Cushing will table his questions on the AJGA. There were no other, on this one here, saying, other than that one, correct?
there's a bunch on the first page. I'm not worried
Select
about
board
it.
half, so who made the motion to create a new agenda?
I would have to go back and watch all the video on these. And that's what I'm saying, is whoever takes these notes, can we just make sure that it is
We'll have them.
accurate? That's all.
Okay,
Yeah. Thank you.
so we're not approving the minutes on this.
Yeah, there's some stuff that needs to be
This one
changed.
has to go back and go through it.
Yeah.
So, but to be polite here, I think on the Board of Liquor Control, Peggy had something to say on Scrub-a-Dub Pub.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yeah. Select Board half made a motion for the town clerk to confirm whether the application was meant for Scrub-a-Dub Pub or for Jack's. It should read, made a motion for the town clerk to move forward once confirming whether the application was meant for Scrub-a-Dub Pub or for Jack's.
Okay. Who is it for?
It's for Scrub-a-Dub Pub, it's always been for Scrub-a-Dub Pub, that's how the state puts it in. They don't serve liquor at Scrub-a-Dub Pub.
So if they don't serve liquor at Scrub-a-Dub Pub, why are we giving permission for a liquor license?
Because that's how the state demands that it's put in. That's how it's always been applied for. That's the state.
We're just letting the clerk move forward, so we'll change it that way. Okay, but we'll wait for this to come back, okay?
Yep.
I think it has something to do with the states. I remember seeing other times where Jack's came in for outside consumption permits and for liquor licenses in the past.
I looked up in the past ones, I'm only seeing Scrub-a-Dub Pub.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Board of Liquor Control?
That's me. Okay, we have a bunch of renewals. The first one is Mountain Song, doing business as Rivershed. They're applying for a first, third, and outside consumption.
And this is where I'm going to come in and say, can I get a motion
Right.
to move forward, the town clerk to move forward
Right.
with a first,
Okay.
outside, and third for Mountain Song doing business as Rivershed. So Ricky makes the motion.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Patty.
Okay, the next renewal is the Killington Distillery. It's first, third, and an outside consumption.
This is what I'm going to ask if
Motion.
someone can make a motion to allow the
Motion.
town clerk to move forward with Killington Distillery, first, third, and outside. Ricky made the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The third one is the Killington Deli and Marketplace. It is a second class and a tobacco substitute endorsement.
So I'm going to ask for a motion to allow the town clerk to move forward with Killington Deli and Marketplace for a second class, a tobacco and tobacco substitute endorsement.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next one is Mountain Merchant. It is for a second class tobacco and tobacco substitute endorsement.
So I'm going to ask for a motion to allow the town clerk to move forward with Merchant Mountains for a tobacco substitute endorsement, tobacco also, and a second class.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and the last is Killington Restaurants, Inc. It's for an outside consumption limited permit. It's scheduled for April 19th for their Dazed and Defrosted event. I've attached a sketch that they provided. The attached map has green and black lines to indicate the double fencing. In addition to their normal DLC license areas, they will have this fenced-in area on the snow directly adjacent to the licensed patio. Security is on the site as well.
Again, a motion to let the town clerk to move forward for an outside consumption limited permit, and it's, what's the dates on this?
It's April 19th.
So it's for just April 19th.
Yep.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
The review golf course budget and rates.
Handed out the new budget that we just received today based upon the board's comments at the last meeting. You found some errors, or an error, I think, in the loan, and it did not reflect the increase in the fee that is paid to the town for the operation fee. And I think Justin
So clear,
is
just
on.
tap. Justin, are you there? Click to the right and get away from the screen. Just tip over, yeah, just go, don't hit the, so then look into participants. Just admit all in case there's somebody, you got a bunch of other people, so admit all down at the bottom.
Yeah, see him on.
Okay. Okay. Justin, are you with us? From Green Mountain National, or Great Life Golf.
See, is there anybody, can anybody hear us out there in Zoom land?
Go back to, click on the side.
Yeah, we can hear you
Yeah,
just
they can hear
fine.
'em.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So now there's Oleg that's looking to get in. Did you accept him in?
No.
So go to participants and admit all. Okay. So, go down, click over to the right.
Over here?
Yeah, click over there, so I don't want you to hit though. So, click on participants in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Show waiting room?
No, you're good.
No
There's
one in the
12
waiting room.
participants.
Oh, there we are.
Okay, and I don't show anybody from
Great golf.
Great Golf,
Huh, okay.
Great Life Golf.
It's great life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I talked to him today. I thought he was going to join us. Okay.
I thought he was going to join us too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, number one, I thought we said we were going to go to 5s and 0s. So the
Yeah.
5-day pass is 1119 or whatever. I don't know. And then we're going into the revenues. Expenses, did they make the change in here on the 36 to the 72?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was just for the 26 budget, right?
That's all we're
Right.
doing,
Yeah.
is 26.
Yeah.
And then you go down to the last page, I think, of expenses.
Yep.
And the long-term debt, it shows just
23.
it just shows, there's the 5 million interest liability and the 545,000 interest liability is gone because those payments, I believe, are done.
Mhm.
The 1,183 refi interest, it's only interest, where's the principal?
I don't know.
So why don't we push this off and ask them that they need to come in when they're up, but that only shows interest payment on there, and I don't know why it doesn't show the principal payment on it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would like them to explain some of the, like where the increases are and stuff, so.
Okay.
I don't think we can really do anything.
Next up is grant policy. Is Abby leading this?
I thought she was.
She's in
Yeah.
here.
Oh, we have consideration
Okay, so-
American, we have number 6 we jumped.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Okay, consideration of American, yeah, but they're not here, so, I mean, we
You wanna
really
do that
want
with
to
them,
just
too?
go ahead to say, I think it's just the normal, let's move forward with next year, seeing what it would take to bring the AJGA back.
Yeah.
So
And that's-
give him this, give Justin, when you ask him when he's gonna come to, to present the budget, I thought he was gonna be here tonight.
Okay.
That we would also like to hear about bringing back the AJGA for next year. And then can you click to the far right again? I just don't want you to hit the, there you go. And then, there you go. So there we had Abby. All right, so we're at the grant policy. Abby, I think this is you.
So I put together a grants policy basically to help improve communication within the town, various grants that are applied for. Mary Ellen has to report to the state once a year on all of the federal grants that we receive, so this will help her with that as well. It also helps out with internal controls in the office and identifies the source for any matching funds that are needed. It also helps us to ensure that we get grants in the future. So for example, if one department applies for a grant and all of the requirements are not met, it could harm could prevent another department from obtaining a grant in another form. So just kind of improving communication, improving internal controls townwide. The policy applies to any grants that are 25,000 or over, those that create future financial obligations, those that are acquiring a new asset. All of those requirements need to have select board approval before the grant is applied for. Anything other than that can be approved administratively by the town manager. And it includes a form that needs to be filled out with each grant. Tom did review this with department heads, so now we're just bringing it to the board for their review and hopefully approval.
Can I get a motion to move forward with the grants policy?
I have one thought on it.
Okay.
Oh, we have to move, yeah, sorry.
Can I get a motion to approve the grants policy?
So we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Yep. Motion?
Patrick made the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
You can start talking.
Yeah, thanks. The last sentence in the first paragraph, the purpose statement, says the purpose of this policy is to maintain good standing with all federal, state, private agencies which provide funding by ensuring that all conditions of the grant agency are successfully met. I get the sentiment of it. My one recommendation is to change it to be more town forward. I think there's a great sentence later on that kind of embodies that, where it's under statement, the last sentence in that. Grants should be evaluated under consistency with the town's mission, strategic priorities, and adoption of plans, as opposed to simply constituting additional funding for a department or agency government. Obviously, it's not a one-for-one switch, but that one's written where it's saying it's consistent with the town's mission and strategy and all that. We don't want to give the idea that we will change the town's mission, policy, stance so that we can get funding. That's my one recommendation. But well done.
I'm reading it, the purpose of this policy is to maintain good standing with all federal, state, and private agencies which provide funding by ensuring that all the conditions of the granting agency are successfully met. So there will be times where maybe our town will go against what it is, and then we can't take the grant, I guess.
Right.
Or unless
Yeah,
you're going
exactly.
to say, you know.
Right, that's part of the form is making sure that it does meet the town's mission and policies.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Kind of the process to go through.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think that's great. I just think that one sentence, to me, it sounded like we will make sure that we will change to meet theirs, instead of saying we'll only take on things that meet our standards, practice. Like, we're not going to apply for something that we don't meet versus, oh, we don't meet it, so let's change something so we can do it.
I don't know about that. We're going to apply for grants, and, we applied for grants 3 years ago to find out that we never had a grant policy.
Yeah.
And then I think Lisa had to come forward and start doing it. And there may be times policy can change.
Yeah.
And this is saying here that all conditions of the granting agency are successfully met. If they're not successfully met, because it goes against our other policies or whatever, then I think we would have to either back away or make a request for a change.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying, written from the town's, just shift the perspective of it slightly.
So you would like to see that the purpose of this policy is to maintain good standing with all federal, state, and private agencies which provide funding by ensuring that all conditions of the town's grant policy are successfully met?
I mean, I can write something up, if you'd like, but I would have to sit on it to think of what it is.
Can you hit pound? So go to the keypad. Keypad.
Oh,
On the thing, it says keypad, below host options.
okay.
Now hit pound. There you go. You just let them in.
No,
Now go to the,
they went away. They're still in the waiting room.
Hit participants?
there you go there.
Oh, now they're in. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it took a second to get
Yeah,
in,
it
so
did.
now click over to the far right so you're away. I mean, I guess Abby, do you know what to write, or would you like a comment from Patrick?
I think I think it's as simple as moving that sentence, grants shall be evaluated for their consistency. I think it's just as simple as moving that sentence to the end of the top paragraph.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think that's a great sentence there.
Yep. Yep, that's easy enough to fix.
Cool. Thank you.
Is there anything else on there?
No.
Ricky?
Nope.
Can you make a motion to?
Actually, sorry. The Killington Town contact list, should that be on letterhead? In case it gets separated from the other stuff?
I don't know, ask Abby.
Abby, do you have that recommendation? Sure, thank you.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, and one last thing, it's gonna need 5 lines now, because, or once we get select board, you'll need 5 lines instead of 3. Now I'm done.
Would you like to make a
Sure.
motion stating those changes?
Sure. Motion to accept the changes, to recommend the
To
changes?
recommend, to accept the grants policy as written with changes and name the changes.
So, a motion to accept the grant policy with
With-
changes as amended. Is that right?
You want
Or
to
was
just,
it amended?
so it gets written in, what are the changes, what are they?
To put the contact list on letterhead, to add 2 more lines, and to take that sentence in the statement block and move it up towards the purpose statement. And thank you for your work on this, Abby. So, motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
It's just going to take a little bit, guys.
Yeah.
That's all it is. All right. VTrans annual financial plan. It's you again,
So I
Abby?
kind of botched the last one a little bit. Your total for income and your total for expenses are supposed to match, and I incorrectly calculated town tax funds on the last copy I gave you. So this is a revised copy of the annual financial plan.
This is the one that reads $2,185,486 that we're looking at in our packet.
$2,089,648.57. Oh, the total, yes,
Oh,
I'm looking at this sheet
the
here.
total. I can't see that from here.
Okay. It says annual financial plan, town highways, TA 60.
Yeah.
Estimated says town tax funds, $2,089,648.57. And then down
Yes.
below, the total says $2,185,486.
Yes,
Then on the estimated, it says winter maintenance, $894,291.60. Non-winter maintenance, $596,194.40. A for paving resurfacing, $395,000. B for bridges and culverts, $300,000, for a total of $2,185,486, equaling and above as the same as the income.
yep.
Can I get a motion to move forward with the signing of the annual financial plan for town highways?
Motion.
Ricky motioned. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So let you
We need
guys
to
sign
resend
one
that
of
one.
those.
You got a pen, borrow your pen, I lost mine, must have lost mine.
usually I'm sealing it.
So I have Class 2 paving grant approval in front of us.
Yep, so I started using the grant policy form for this grant and the next one that you'll be looking at. This one is the Class 2 roadway improvements through VTrans. It is for River Road. It is identical to what we applied for last year.
You might want to just date that.
$200,000 is the maximum grant amount, 20% match, or whatever is over the maximum grant amount. So for this application is estimated to be $276,650. It will depend on where bids coming up. The matching source for this grant is the paving fund that we have. And I would expect, hopefully we get this approved this year and we would complete the work this year and submit for reimbursement in the fall. And the project includes replacing culverts, upsizing culverts along the paved section of River Road, as well as ditch work and bringing the road into compliance with municipal general roads permit standards.
This is for River Road, this one, Abby?
Yes.
Can I get a motion for the grant proposal for River Road Class 2 roadway improvements?
Motion.
Oh,
And I also had a couple questions about that. I don't know if this is the time or if it's
Yeah.
later on. So as far as that goes on, whether it's dealt with during the grant process or later on, but is that just, as far as what they're going to do, are they going to mill that or is that going to be reclaim?
I think
Like a
this
full
is,
depth reclamation or?
A reclaim where they come in and grind it up instead of a mill? Is it, which one? Is it a mill where they take the 3 inches off or are they going to lay it back down and do a reclaim? Because it says both in here. It says milling / reclaim, 56,500. And my question is, because I think it's pretty much beyond milling, actually. I think it needs a reclaim. I'm just, with the
Like a
depth.
full depth
Yeah,
reclaim?
yes.
so I think where we're gonna go with this, Ricky, is that this is going in for a grant proposal.
Right, that's why I wasn't sure if we talk about it now or
We'll get
later.
The engineer or whatever to take a look at it, to see if it needs a full claim or if it can go by with this. But we don't even know if we're gonna get this grant.
Right.
So,
Right.
we're just moving forward
Okay.
for the grant proposal. And then if we get the grant, then I think it will go out to a bid to see what it actually will be, Abby. And they will decide
I
from
mean, I
there.
think if we were doing a full reclaim, we probably don't have enough funds set aside to do
I
that.
Right.
think reclaim is actually cheaper than milling.
Yeah, but, so, I'm not gonna, this
No,
is,
I'm
this is for the highway, Public Works, asking us to approve a grant proposal for a maximum amount of $200,000.
Right.
Okay? And from there, there's a 20% match or an amount over maximum grant amount. So if it cost $1 million, there's gonna be an $800,000 on our charge. And then I guess we would have to turn it down if we have to do a full reclaim, because we don't have the $800,000 in the town if we had to do whatever. So at this point, it's just saying, we're looking for a grant for $200,000 with a 20%.
I
And
understand that.
they're gonna go forward. If we say yes, or we say no, then she puts this aside and doesn't look to try to get $200,000 to try to do something.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm just asking what is the process, whether we address it now or later. That's the only
We're
thing.
giving her the permission to move
Okay.
forward to do a grant
Okay?
proposal. They still have to come back later, if they get the grant, like in anyone, if you get a grant, it still has to come back to the board for approval of it.
Okay.
This is saying, I would like to go for a
Gotcha.
grant.
Okay, cool.
So, okay,
Motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Do you want to sign this first or not? Oops.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah,
We sign this?
that one.
And the back page.
That's the actual clear color copy, whatever.
So the next grant is for improvements to town highway structures. Again, a VTrans grant, $200,000 maximum. The source for matching funds would be from the Bridge Capital Fund. The
no, she's
location
got the
for
second
this
one,
is the
okay.
culvert by Skyship. We originally started looking at that with the FEMA recovery, but because the culvert itself wasn't damaged, it's not eligible under FEMA. We do have preliminary design plans from Edmund Kesselring, and we do have an easement signed with the private property owner, so we're pretty far along with this. Assuming that we get this approved, I would expect that construction would happen next year.
So we're looking at the total being $298,000.
Yes, and that is based on the structure that we built here is similar to the ones that went in up by Bear Mountain Road, Trailside Drive this last fall.
So can I
So
get a
that's where I think the
motion
process
to
is from.
allow Public Works to move forward with a grant proposal for improvements to a town highway structure, being the culvert on East Mountain Road, down by Skyship? And if we go to, can I first get a motion?
Motion.
Ricky made the motion, all in favor?
Uh,
I messed up there because it's whatever, but anyway, it's 20% match or an amount over maximum grant amount of 200,000. And so since 20% of 200 would be 40, and she's looking for 298,000, the town would have to kick in 98,000 instead of the 40.
And is that within budget, Abby?
Yes, we have the funds set aside in the bridge capital fund.
Okay. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, I don't think we wrote the date on that last one.
I put it.
He did. Line striping, purchase approval. Want to run through this, Abby?
Yeah, I provided you with 2 quotes. Basically, one is for waterborne paint and one is for epoxy. The roads covered under this would be Killington Road, Schoolhouse Road, River Road, West Hill Road, and East Mountain Road. Essentially, we're just looking at the price per linear foot. Waterborne paint is 15 cents per linear foot. Epoxy is 40 cents per linear foot. When I talked to L&D, they said the epoxy will last 2 to 3 seasons, whereas the waterborne, we all know, lasts 1 year, if that. We would back out the River Road and West Hill Road because we're looking at both of those roads to be paved this summer, so we would just hold off until they're repaved and then call L&D to come in and do the line striping, and that would be covered under the paving funds. If we went with the epoxy, we would be slightly over budget for FY26 of about, I estimate about $12,000. But again, it lasts 2 to 3 seasons, so in the long run, we're actually saving some money.
Discussion? Because there's 2 quotes in front of us.
Yeah, could we, what about the possibility of doing like the Killington Road with the epoxy, and when they have come back in for River Road and West Hill, just do the water one for this year?
And what would that, just the thought process behind it?
Well, so you could stay within the budget, that's why.
If it, what, the one with the access road would be, is you're thinking do the access
With
road
the
with the
epoxy,
epoxy one?
yeah.
Because that's gonna be
Or if you're able
more
to do,
traveled.
or if you're able to do West Hill and the access road with it, depending on where you are with what things for the different roads, actually. And if you have to do like one of them with the waterborne one, water-based one, to stay within budget, I mean.
Is any of that, the access road where you put the epoxy, is any of that getting ripped up in the next time that it would go away? No?
So, and actually what I'm saying is that River Road and West Hill Road, paying for the line striping of those after the paving is done, and the payment for those would come out of the
Oh, that's what
paving
you said, push
fund,
that.
since we would have to line stripe anyway, so let's do the better line striping. So already I've backed those out of the quote, and we are still over by about $12,000.
So you had said staying with the Killington Road, East Mountain Road, Schoolhouse Road,
So these are
Would be
just,
$56,000.
Oh, okay.
Would be 56,000. And then the other roads would be done because we put in for road work to be done.
Right.
And I'm gonna say a previous manager, and I'm gonna stick to that, because I'm
That's
not
fine.
getting into whatever, but, you know, we were told as select board members for years that we can only use water-based, and there was never anything that could last longer. And some of the water-based, when this company came in and did it, would only last a month or two at the time. And we were supposed to be doing it 2 times a year, in the spring and in the fall, so we would last with the water base, okay? And then it turned out that L&D was not able to get here that much time or whatever, and the previous manager was waiting for the one-time free, there was something free.
There's one, I think the yellow lines.
The yellow
once a
lines
year.
were free, and that's what we were told as board members. So to find out that we can come in and do this work in epoxy and get it to last for 2 to 3 years, okay? I think that we should be going with this quote for the $56,985 and get it done correctly. And if it means finding something in the budget later on, or being $12,000 over in a $7 million budget, is really not that.
right, that would be kind of normal fluctuation at the end of the year of budget stuff. Have we ever done epoxy?
Yeah, they used to, that's the plastic stuff. They used to do that all the time, actually.
How did
The only problem with that, the plows will catch it and peel it up. They won't peel it all up, it'll come up in pieces
That's my
sometimes.
concern.
Yeah, but it does last. I mean, you may have a strip, but you may have little pieces missing out, but you can still
That's
see
fine,
the
as
line,
long as you can
actually.
see it.
Taxpayers are the people that drive the road.
Yeah.
They never complained when the epoxy was put down. They started to complain
When
when
the
we
water.
started going to water base.
Okay.
And we were told that there was only an option for water base.
Yeah.
So, for now, I would say
I
go
would
back to the
be-
way it was, and nobody was complaining of it for,
Yeah.
so, I
I'm
mean,
for it.
it's still underneath
That's fine.
discussion.
Yeah.
So can I get a motion to move forward with L&D safety marking for the epoxy for the roads as Abby had described, and dropping out River Road and
West Hill?
West Hill?
River Road and West Hill would be completed as part of repaving of
Right,
those 2 roads.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
motion?
Motion.
Ricky made the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks for explaining that.
Select board member comments or concerns? I've got-
You skipped one.
Oh, annual town officials, appointments.
There you go.
So Recreation Commission, we got Evan Eman wants to come back. Steve Nizenblatt wants to come back. That is for 2025, okay? So, for Development Review Board, Jessica Ralston for 2025, term is up, wants to come back. Marissa Sherman wants to come back. Planning Commission, Brian Guy Keefe, 2025, is the only one in the Planning Commission, would like to come back. Rutland Regional Planning Commission, Will Austin, 2025, wants to come back, along with Lisa Davis Lewis as the alternate. That's okay, that's there. Rutland County Safe Solid Waste District, Jay Hickory, 2025, would like to come back. Rutland Region Transportation Council, myself, and Lisa Davis Lewis as the alternate. And then first, I'm just gonna get a motion. They're all people that have been here before, and
Yeah.
they're on. So can I get a motion to accept these 2025 on this sheet to move forward?
Motion.
Ricky motioned, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, Tom, somewhere in this sheet of paperwork you gave me,
I can tell you.
Yeah,
It's,
can you go ahead?
Deb Burke for Weir of Coal and Fence Viewer.
Can I get a motion to accept nomination of Deb Burke for Ware of Cole and Fence Viewer?
Motion.
Ricky made the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, you can wear a hole. And look at our fences.
All right.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Thank you for doing it.
Select Board member comments or concerns. This is where last year, I came out before the golf season or whatever. Steve Finneran and his wife Sheila, put a lot into the golf course. They put a lot into the town. He did have to leave unexpectedly, and, we gave Steve and his wife a season pass for the golf course and, unlimited golf cart, and this board has the authority to make a motion to extend that for one more year.
Motion.
Yeah,
Okay,
I want to make the motion.
You make that
Okay,
one.
I'm going to make this motion. Can I make the motion for that?
go ahead.
Thank you. No, motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So
Thanks, Rick.
Steve Finneran and his
problem.
wife Sheila are, get free passes for this year, and also unlimited golf cart. And just to give, this is our second year of doing this, and I don't even know if Steve has actually really gone out, but it's something the town can do, even if he just hops in the golf cart for a day for a ride along the golf course. That's my only comments, okay? You have anything, Ricky?
I do, actually.
Okay.
So I've had a little time to go through the previous agendas and stuff, and I noticed that we generally do a treasurer's report about once a month. And I think the last one was done in January. And so I just had some questions about financial stuff. So I was wondering what our current cash balance is and what our restricted fund balance is. I got a couple more, but I won't rattle them all off at once.
How about if we just do those reports at the next meeting?
Okay,
This is more of comment saying I would like to see,
okay.
not I need an answer on.
No, I
the
wasn't
spot.
saying, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not sure of the procedure
It's
on that,
supposed to
so.
be, so the town manager can work with the treasurer
Okay,
and put the two together.
Okay.
The reports, and make it more, so just let's make it more reliable that it's once a month that we have the treasurer's report.
Yeah.
Okay? And I think there's, in the treasurer's report is showing us the cash balance as of the month before. It's not as of,
Right.
okay.
okay?
Whatever.
So, anything else?
I'll do the, I'd like to make a motion,
Well, first, do you have?
or
any-
I'll talk about, yes.
Do you have any select board member concerns or?
Yes. The, from our training that we went to, which, very good training, thank you for pointing everyone that sent us the stuff from the town. They did talk about adding in the attendance, and even though we don't legally need to, if that's what lawyers tell us, I think it's a good idea. That was what the Vermont League of Cities and Towns said, and just put in with, this is what's collected. If, I understand that may not be 100% accurate, but maybe we can just say, as recorded, get around, because if someone writes down a different name, we can't really catch that all the time, I get that. But just to put in, to have a full record of the meeting. So then, do we talk about more, or do I make a motion for that?
No, this is on the selectmen, we could put it on for
Can we put it on
motion at the
for,
next meeting.
yeah, let's put it on for the next meeting then.
Okay.
Thank you.
I mean, to make it simpler, why don't we, instead of putting it on the next meeting, just ask the town to include the copy of the sheet of those that attended,
Yeah,
so we're
Yeah.
not sitting
I was
here
gonna
or
say,
whatever,
Okay.
you know?
yeah.
I'm
Thank you.
just, all of a sudden, like, I don't think it makes sense of having a motion
Right, no, that's
that we're looking for. but,
some that we already have.
You know, with the notion that we may miss someone.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
We try our
someone,
best.
you know, well,
Don't
all
cause
it's gonna
it.
be is, so do we have out tonight, it's not ours, do we have out a sign-in sheet tonight?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so we got that.
Has everybody signed it? I'd like to
Yeah.
get that back so I can
Yeah.
put the Zoom people on it.
So, to me, it's just like if someone doesn't sign it, and then later on, they're gonna say, I was here, and
That's on them if they don't sign it though, really.
We're just gonna take that sheet and add it. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly, we don't need to
And the town
attest to it.
manager will go, you can go to participants now, Tom?
Yeah. It's very slow.
And there you go. So we'll take a minute here, Marissa Sherman,
Yeah.
Zoom. Noreen Binder, Binder. Jacob Legata, Legayada.
Oh, we get to see how well you are at reading names, Jim. You're pretty good.
Jay Hickory,
Can you guys take a screen picture or just a picture?
David Atherton. Lisa Davis Lewis. I know this person's not there. Oh, no, it
Oh,
is.
no,
It's
it's-
Patricia Cushing. I thought it was Patrick.
Just to be clear, that's my mother for, there's no conflict.
Go ahead, Ricky. Claudia Ravenko
Bowen.
Bowen.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't, so Revenko hyphen BOW.
And no conflict in saying that, good.
Kurt Peterson.
Yep.
Abby Sherman. Kevin Hewitt. Oleg /ALEH. And then click to the far right, so you don't see that anymore. There you go. It will go away.
Right.
Okay, so is that for selectmen's concerns?
Yep.
Public comment. We'll start to the left. Whit, you're over there.
I don't have anything tonight.
Craig? Andre? Andrew, I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe later.
We're going through the room right now.
All right, can we add to the agenda? I've asked in the email to Abby and the town manager, but I didn't get the response back. I did get the answers from Abby with a list of receipts for the section of the road that was done last year between Route 4 and Killington Road. I would like the town to prepare the spreadsheet that exactly shows what was paid, because I did receive, I just want to clarify, I received 2 emails with 160 invoices, pictures, right? But it's confusing because I have to be doing this work and I noticed there are a few invoices missing there. So I think it would be better for the town to prepare a spreadsheet where they can list the project, the phase, what was completed, what was built, and the name of the contractors. For example, Markowski Excavating, engineers, lawyers, and everything that went into this phase. Because looks to me that we're a couple $100,000 more than was originally quoted or what was in the budget for that phase. So I would just like to have a discussion with the town so that you guys are new on the board, so that we can take a look and see where we spent more money and what can we improve to not do this again.
I don't know what you mean by do it again, but you put in for a public information request, and they gave the answer to you.
But it wasn't organized. I think it would be nice for a selectman to take a look at the same information.
Go back and ask for a Public Information Act. If you want it to be something else, then you need to ask for it. But
Well, I can say right now that we provide you the information we have with a public record request. We don't have to create spreadsheets and all that.
Yeah, but that
If
means,
the board wants to do that, that's a different story.
so I would like to present it to the board that my findings, because I spent hours looking into it, and I found discrepancies. Same as I found the discrepancy with Chad giving money, Chad being paid off even after he left. And we're all furious about it, and we're still gonna be trying to collect the money, talk to the lawyers, so we're gonna work on it. So, since we found one mistake, I found it, I'm looking further, and I found more mistakes. So I'm saying that when you guys it was advertised that this section of the road was gonna cost us 2.63 million. And I get the receipts, and we see almost 3 million. And I also see some invoices missing, and I know those companies got paid. That means we're digging. We would like to know exactly how much we, the taxpayers, spent on that section of the road. Because I would like to show everybody that if we're being said 2.7, we should be 2.7, and if we're 3.5 million, we should all know where the money's coming from.
Yeah, this is public input. You put in for a public information request, you're asking specific questions, you got the specific answers. The quote went out, and I'm gonna step in on this here or whatever, because I'm supposed to, really, the chair is supposed to chair if there's any factual information here. So there was engineering work that was done, there was legal work that was done, that was not part of the bid, okay? So when the bid went out to the contractors to bid on, it may have said 2.8 million or 3.2 million on the bid, okay? That's for the work that was supposed to be done. That's not for legal work, that's not for engineering work, okay? So if you want to get deeper into it, I don't know what to say, but I think you're asking for the wrong information. You asked for the Markowski contract, and we have not spent more on the Markowski contract than what the Markowski contract called for, except for there was one addition of $68,000 for an amendment to the contract to Markowski. But there was also work that was done for legal. There was also work done for engineering of the water line and of the road for VHB. There is no VHB billing inside of the Markowski contract, okay? The total TIF district was approved for, I want to say, $53 million, with $6 million that was already given in grants, for a total dollar amount of $47 million to be borrowed from the town to complete the road project. But that's, if you want to put in other public information requests, you're welcome to, but that's not our job. Our job is to make sure that we stay within the budget when it comes to us, and the budget was 2 million for the Markowski contract. For what I did see of the request from Andrew Gita for his request, he wanted it broken out to like Pike Industries, what we paid, and this and that and everything. To be quite honest with you, we gave a contract, an award, to Markowski for the 2 million, which, by the way, in that bid process was some, I think it was close to $1.2 million less than the next lowest price, okay? And it was about $2 million less than what the town had budgeted with their engineers to go out to bid. So yes, there is pricing that the engineers needed to do, because obviously we needed to get the quotes ready for the contractor to bid on. So just like when you hire on for your house to build a house, you're hiring on first somebody that's going to come in and they're going to be doing work and then puts it out to the house.
So I would like to comment a little bit,
Yeah.
give you a little bit more, just an example. We all have budgets. We know how much money we have. So like, you just saying that, oh yeah, even if this was we said 2.7, but really it ended up being 3.5. So we would like to know where we, the town, found the extra money to take care of, for example, Green Mountain Power. that they charged us before they even broke the ground, $90,000 to move those poles, because that wasn't included in any of these bids, but I know they charged the town for this. So it wasn't part of this 2.7. Markowski got their share. I found out from the information I received from Abby, there was nothing about Green Mountain Power, but I know they were around $90,000 extra that the town paid before the job even started. So when you start, so question is, where did this money come from? And then other things, if we should know exactly where the money coming from. We were approved for 53 million, 6 million. There should be all those accounts and
So,
say, okay,
Andre,
we've pulled money from here, from there. The reason why, because if the money's gonna get lost, we need to see
I think you.
where they disappear, for example. Or like when we open the book and we see that a person that worked for the town for 3.5 months got paid full year salary. All I'm saying that we should, as the town, voters and selectmen should actually request and see something simple, exact spreadsheet that exactly shows what we spent on that section of the road, even if it's over the budget. Even if it wasn't part of the
Andre, I'm
quote.
gonna stop you, okay? We're not over the budget. You're mixing two things up. You're taking a part of a budget for that road, and you're using the Markowski contract and saying that the Markowski contract is for everything, and it's not. There were other expenses for other things, okay? So if you want to do a public information request, I think you need to rephrase your question. But as far as if the board would like to one day, I think you'd be welcome to sit down with Abby. But I don't think we get involved every day stuff of looking into people's public information they ask. I asked many times. I didn't come to board meetings and say, you know, this, and that, or whatever. I asked for information, and I looked at it. And I think you're mixing up the total cost of a project and thinking that everything is going to be in the Markowski bid. And you asked for Markowski bid.
You
I'm gonna stop.
advertised that this section of the road is gonna cost us 2.7. That's how it was in the Mountain Times. You open up the Mountain Times, you read section, Casella, $18.2 million. This section was supposed to be 2.7. And obviously, I'm doing my homework, and I see extra money here, extra money there. So that's why I'm asking those questions.
So, I mean, I'm reading really nice here because on this public comments, I'm only supposed to help with, factual stuff. But once again, the facts is that the town hired on, and there's soft costs, and there's other costs. And the board doesn't do the everyday stuff or whatever here, okay? But there's soft costs and other costs that goes in. And then when we have all that, then we say, we're putting out to bid to complete the road construction of that project. And Markowski came in at I don't know if it's 6.8 or 8.6, and then asked for a $68,000 amendment. And they are staying within that, okay? And so just today, we received an email from Markowski requesting $70,000 more in a payment for some work on stones that was not approved, and the town's not approving it because they had until March of 2024 to come in with any changes, and they didn't, okay? So once again, I'm sorry that when you read in a paper that the town is saying that a project to build the road is 2.68 or 2.86, and you think that the VHB engineering design work is in that, you're wrong. If you think that we're paying Green Mountain Power for stuff that should have been in there, you're wrong. I believe, and I'd have to go back to find out, but I believe the town was aware that was some transformers and some moving of the poles that was also included in, but not in the project. But that's underneath some soft cost and some other costs that the town had to do. So I'm gonna stop it here, because that's about as much facts that I can give, that even if you wanna if you wanna take the rest of your life and now move into sections 1 through 3A of the water line, that we awarded to Casella some $21 million worth of work for them to do it, and you want to put our town to put all that information together and then come back here into a select board hearing and say, where is the work for VHB and DeFranes and the wetlands and everything else that would have to be done prior to putting out for bid? I don't know what else I can say. But anyone that's in business understands, in order to get a project done, there is work before to get it out to a bid. So Andy, I'm coming to you. Do you have anything to say? Peggy?
No.
Okay. Rob?
No, I'm fine.
Deb?
Yeah. It came to my attention yesterday. I went out looking at my fence that's on the Killington Road and the top of Mountain View Drive. And this winter, I had watched the town plowing the snow from Mountain View Drive up against the fence. And it happened a few years ago that a guy named Chris was plowing, and he pushed the snow against the fence, and in the spring, when the snow melted, I could see the fence was damaged quite a bit. And I have an 1,100-pound horse out there, and I don't want him getting out. And I have an old dog, and he's out there, and so now I've got a whole section of fence that is now on the ground, and I think I didn't walk down there, but it needs to be repaired. So when Chris damaged the fence 5-6 years ago, he came and he fixed it. He fixed the fence. And so I'm asking the select board to make sure that quickly somebody comes from the town garage and puts the fence up again or repairs it and somehow, because there's like 6 acres of pasture there, and I closed the gate quickly so the horse didn't get out with the fence down. And so I'm asking if the select board can make sure that somebody comes like within a few days, a week, and fixes the fence, because I can't do it. I mean, and I shouldn't have to, because I thought the problem was solved 5-6 years ago, and I talked to everybody at the town garage, and, I understand that they've got to plow the snow up from Mountain View Drive. It's got to go somewhere, so, and you'll see Burke Hollow Road there, and that's my property, and I own 20 feet on the south side of Burke Hollow. So where they're pushing the snow is into my pasture.
So can we get the town highway crew and Public Works to take a ride down Burke Hollow Road?
Yep.
And take a look at it? I can't promise that anything is gonna get fixed, because I don't know what's there or not. And that's not let's send out our Public Works and our highway foreman to take a look at. And I think 5 or 6 years ago, it never came to us here. I think it was just dealt with.
They called down to the garage and
Go
we
down
took
to the
care of it,
garage. So
yeah.
all I'm saying is that we're not gonna sit here and, so for factual, just pass it on to
Yep.
the foreman to take a look at it, and, if they can do it in the next day or two, to take a look at it and get back to management to put up a plan or what it takes, if anything takes, and go from there.
It didn't take Chris that long to fix it.
Yeah.
But, and then, the house across the street from where my house is, they're plowing their driveway, and they're pushing the snow across the road, across Southview Path, and they're pushing it into my front pasture. So it's damaged the fence there, too. So.
Sounds like you got an issue with your neighbor.
Yeah, I talked to, I talked to the people that own that plow it, and I explained, and in great detail, and they kept doing it. And I want to know, is there a law or ordinance or something that you can't plow
It's a civil matter, but it's going across the town road.
somebody's snow from somebody's
They can push across the
driveway
town road. They
across
can't.
the road
Yeah.
and into my front pasture, damaging the fence there.
All the way down?
So are you talking on Mountain View, or are you talking
Southview,
Southview?
Southview, the front of my house,
Southview?
yeah,
Okay. So it's Southview.
yeah.
So, but I mean, that's,
Yeah, it's in.
wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
just let us know who the contractor is. It is against the
Riley.
ordinance and state.
So that would go to
Riley.
the police department, not the select board. So when can you follow up with Debbie?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Just let me know.
okay.
Yeah, after the
Good.
meeting, let me know.
Maybe
And the
we could get
highway and the
another
foreman's gonna
snowstorm.
take a look at
Usually.
where they plowed over on that area there or whatever, okay? That's like a mailbox getting broken down, they call into the, and take care of it. It's more serious than a mailbox, I get it,
Yeah.
because it's keeping in, but it's the same, it's still the same, it's still the same
Yeah.
procedure.
Yeah. But I didn't know if there were, is it legally, you can push the snow from your driveway across a public road
We're asking,
and
the-
into somebody else's.
we're asking the police
No.
chief?
You can't, okay.
Can't even plow
Yeah.
across the town road.
I told the guys
Yeah.
driving the plow truck, and it was like, it went one ear and right out the other,
Sure.
so,
Path of least resistance.
yeah,
Okay, thanks a lot, Debbie. They'll get back to you on the
okay.
town side one.
All right, yeah, I closed the gate, but he's kind of a Houdini, and so he's gotten over, he ran over the gate, jumped over the gate once,
Okay. So,
and,
all right, well, we'll get
Yeah,
we'll get the foreman and the public works to get on it. Lucretia, you have anything? Ken, you have anything?
Yeah, I got a couple of comments regarding the last set of meeting minutes, the minutes of March 10th that I'd like to go through. So, item number 2, the first sentence there, select board made a motion for SB half to remain. Okay, the select board chair. Okay, I think that word remain should be changed to something like will serve as or acting chair, because you were not chair prior to that.
These are our minutes. It basically says the select board made a motion for select board half to remain the select board chair until the additional 2 select board members are voted in June of 2025. That's exactly what you said.
It's the word remain that's kind of misleading. I'm just putting it out there for consideration.
Go ahead. What else you got, Ken?
The item number 5,
Okay.
okay, the first bullet, select board meeting minutes for January 13th, February 10th, February 20th, 24th, will remain in draft for the time being. The select board half was only the current select board member present at the meetings. Okay, and then it was also said that if anybody had any comments, to forward them on to the town manager, okay, which I did. Copy of the February 10th minutes. Okay, we're giving the town manager twice.
Okay.
So he has those. Moving forward onto the last page. Town resident Ken Wanzer requested to the town to include, okay, the list of attendees, and I know you've addressed that at the meeting, but I'm not going to take too much time on that. Okay, and then with what Tom had to say about the fact that he checked with the attorney, okay, and what the attorney had to say, so I did some research on my own. Vermont statutes, statute 312, okay, it says, just for the record, okay, minutes shall include at least the following minimal information. Okay, all members of the public body present, which is what you do. Okay, and then it says all other active participants in the meeting. So I do feel, okay, as Patrick brought up at this session, okay, that including all of the minutes, okay, or all of the attendees, whether in present or on Zoom, okay, be included. So I appreciate, okay, you going through that, Patrick, okay, and I hope, okay, that that's the way that it goes down. I also did some research too with other towns regarding meeting minutes, starting with Killington, the Development Review Board, of which I was chair of, okay, and we included all of the attendees, okay, on Zoom or in present, okay, at those meetings. My successor, Vito, okay, followed suit, and the current, okay, chair, Wasaki, includes, okay, those attendants as well. I've also gone through 7 other towns, all right, and I've got samples of how they indicate it, Brandon, Proctor, Stowe, Wallingford, Chittenden, etc., and they all do the same thing. So as much as the attorney, in all due respect, said, okay, that it's not a requirement, okay, it is a nice thing to do and a nice thing to have a record of. Castleton, in fact, okay, does attach the sign-in sheet, making it a lot easier, okay, which we always do at these meetings, okay, attaches it to the meeting minutes, okay, and post that as well. So it doesn't have to be typed in the minutes, okay? If people don't sign it, they don't get credit for being at the meeting. Plain and simple. The other item too that I've got is the next bullet under that. Town resident general ones are asked about the status of the new town hall and the final budget. Okay, it was town manager will need to present the finalized, okay, budget to the select board, which 30,000 over the originally passed budget. That should be corrected. It is not the originally passed budget. It is the revised budget, okay, which is in excess of now probably $900,000. So I think, okay, with a 5-member board, 2 more new members coming on board in April, okay, it's about time that the minutes be looked at and squared off, okay, and presented properly. The last item I want to make a mention of too, and this comes from the statute, 312, as long as we're going there, okay? Minutes of all public meetings shall be matters of public record, shall be kept, okay, by the clerk or the secretary of the public body, and shall be available for inspection by any person, and for purchase of copies costs upon request 5 calendar days from the meeting. Goes on to say meeting minutes shall be posted no later than 5 calendar days from the date of the meeting. This too is important. It's important that the meeting minutes get out, get publicized, that they're correct, okay, so that the townspeople have enough time to review the minutes, come to these boards, okay, come to the meetings, okay, and make their comments. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill, you have anything? Anybody online have anything to say? Not seeing anybody mute themselves. I believe we have an executive session to go into at 7:54 that the town clerk is asked to go in with us for personnel. And we'll bring in the town manager also.